pretty much my whole life, I've enjoyed collecting baby dolls. I have a whole box of them. One day, my father brought some baby dolls home from my grandmother. My grandmother had the same interest for collecting dolls as I do, and I have always loved her baby dolls. They were always so interesting and beautiful. My father brought back 3 or 4 dolls, but one of them really caught my eye. It was a really beautiful doll with short, light brown hair, beautiful green eyes, and it looked so realistic. So I picked that one over the others, of course. But the thing is, this baby doll needed batteries. My father went out and bought some batteries for me. I put them in the doll, and man, the doll was amazing. Not only did it look realistic, it acted realistic too. I loved that doll so much. Soon, it felt like my own child. Later, I found a note inside the box. Thinking that it was probably just an instruction manual or something, I glanced over it. And the note said, "Do not turn on the doll. This doll is very bad and will scare you. This doll cannot be killed. Make sure to place this doll where it'll never be found again." Huh? What an awful joke. I've had my little baby alive for a while now, and it's the sweetest thing ever. It'll never hurt me. Of course, I never really believed this, since I myself have a love for creepypasta, but I know that most of them are fake. So that's what I figured about this one. So I just placed the note back in the box. A few nights later, my precious little baby came crawling to me, crying. It wanted a hug. So I picked it up and gave it a hug. And the baby calmed down and stayed quiet for a little while. I love my baby alive. I loved it like my own child. I swear, this thing doesn't seem or feel like a baby doll. It feels so real and felt like it was mine. I was so happy to have her. But all of a sudden, she started crying again. But this time, the baby's cry just got deeper and deeper. I thought it was really strange, but then I remembered the batteries. That's right, it needed batteries. But the baby's been up and running for months, and the batteries had never gone dead. And, well, when the batteries go dead, what would that mean? Would my baby die? If I replaced the batteries, would she completely forget about me? I was worried. Until the baby doll grabbed me. She was digging her fingers into my waist. And it hurt so bad, I couldn't believe it. Was that note really telling the truth? Was my baby doll evil? No, I didn't want to think of it that way. But then my father came running in, and he was yelling, and he told me that he had found the note. And then he saw that the baby was scratching my waist, and that I was bleeding. He told me that we had no other choice but to kill it and get it off of me. My father grabbed the baby by the hair and started trying to pull it off, and ended up ripping out some of its hair. And the baby kept crying. I couldn't stand the sight. My baby's head was bleeding. I didn't want to see my baby in pain, so I told my father to pull it off where it's grabbing a hold of my waist with his arm. My father tried to pull as hard as he could, and ended up ripping off some of my skin around my hip. The pain was burning, but I'd rather be in pain than my baby. Even though it turned to try and kill me, I still loved it. My father walked off with the baby into the tool shed outside of our house. I ran after him, but it was too late. In the building, I saw my baby hanging there by a rope. I was in tears and I felt sick at just the sight of it. My hips still hurt really bad. It was hard for me to walk around. But then the baby started crying again. It was still alive. Yes, that note had mentioned that you can't kill the baby. My father then took the batteries out of it, and it slowly stopped crying. Is it over? Is the baby finally dead? There's a part of me that hopes that it isn't, because deep inside, I still love it. But once again, it started crying. But this time, it was crying like a baby doll with low batteries. The baby tried to get out of the rope. That's when my father got his gun and started shooting it. The baby quit moving altogether. We waited a little while before taking it down to make sure if it stopped working. And, well, we did it. After all of this, I was rushed off to the hospital because of my hip. At the hospital, my mother tried to comfort me, but no matter how much anyone tried, I'm never gonna get over that day. Meanwhile, my father put the doll back in the box that it had come in, and my brother wrote another note to put in the box to warn people about this doll, just in case someone was to find it again. If you ever stumble upon this doll, listen to the notes. Don't turn it on or anything. Leave it alone and walk away. You're guaranteed to fall in love with this doll and then have it taken away from you. Or worse, it'll get you.